Brother lads, welcome back to the Cossy Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to a brand new video. This is your Arsenal summer transfer plan for 2024. Usually, this comes out on the June 1st, but of course, I've had to do my research. I've had to, wait a little bit to see what exactly are we doing? What exactly are we planning to do in terms of profile? Because in terms of positions, we already know we want a goalkeeper, we want a midfielder, we want an attacker. But in terms of profiles, what are we actually going to do? Are we going to make big money signings like Isak? Are you going to sign Gimaresh? I've been disappointed. We're not going to do those signings. But of course, in this video, we're going to be diving into the profiles, into the budget, and how much Arsenal have to spend, how much we are actually going to be spending on every single position. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. Your job in the comment box below is to agree or disagree with the plan that Arsenal have already. This is not according to me, by the way. This is according to the Athletic. This is according to Fabrizio. This is according to all the sources I've gathered to put together this wonderful video. If you don't mind, let's get this video to 1,000 likes and let's get into it. Let's start off with the attack, because that is where Arsenal have been focusing. That is the priority for Mikel Arteta this summer, at least according to major sources. And according to the Ghana blog and the Athletic, after Arsenal's elimination against Bayern in the UEFA Champions League quarterfinals last season, the feeling among the hierarchy was the team lacked a certain X factor in attack, something special to unlock defenses on the biggest of occasions, and therefore Arsenal have decided to go for a number 9. Now, when you hear Arsenal lacked some X factor on the big occasions to unlock defenses, you might be thinking Isak. You might be thinking, Victor Osimhen. You might be thinking those big name signings, or maybe, Victor Gyökeres. It is not actually that. Benjamin Sesko is going to be our main number 9. Now, as part of this plan, I can also confirm that Arsenal have considered the future of Kai Havertz before making this decision. And I can also say that this decision has been made in light of Kai Havertz's future at Arsenal. Now, the Athletic reported that regardless of what happens with Kai Havertz, regardless of what Arsenal want to do with Kai Havertz, it doesn't change the number 9 situation. Arsenal will go and get a number 9, and then we will sort ourselves out. Whether Benjamin Sesko starts with any other new number 9 that will come in starts over Kai Havertz, that remains to be decided by the manager. But at the moment, the manager is going to be getting a centre forward, and the manager is going to be getting a number 9. I'm not going to talk about Benjamin Sesko a lot on this video, because we've definitely talked about him. He's likely to be the next signing Arsenal make, maybe first signing of the summer, even before David Raya. He's also going to be one of the players that come in that Arsenal setup just because we can afford him. He's going to be a 60 million euro signing of the summer. Now, that speaks to the budget that Arsenal want to spend on a striker as well. So we've been listening to all these talks about a midfielder. Arsenal wanting to bring in a level raiser in midfield. That much is true. And that means that regardless of what Arsenal do in terms of a striker, we are not looking for a level raiser in attack. We are not looking for someone who is going to be, kind of a Declan Rice kind of signing in attack. We are going low, we are going, budget, and we are going something humble. So Benjamin Sesko, there is your real number 1 priority. I think Arsenal have other players as well. I don't think it's just Sesko. You just can't depend on one player because he has a release clause. I think other players are also on this list. We know that Mikel Arteta appreciates Watkins. We know that Mikel Arteta, appreciates Solanke probably. But at the moment, well, what I can give you in terms of the plan is that we will get a number 9. We'll get a forward that can complement Kai Havertz, can play in tandem and work in tandem with him. That is the plan. So we have around 200 million to spend this summer, and we might actually have less or more depending on what happens, in the summer, the opportunities that Arsenal see, the way we sell. It's so much in terms of what could determine Arsenal's real, budget. But what I can confirm is that I think 50 million to 60 million euros is what we'll spend on the striker, and then the rest of the money is going to be spent actually elsewhere. So, forward line is not over. In terms of this summer, Arsenal are still planning to go and improve any attacking options apart from the forward line, apart from the striker, actually. We are looking to either bring in a left winger if the market provides us with that opportunity, or a right winger if the market provides us with opportunity, or someone who can actually do the job on both flanks. So Nico Williams, for example, is a player that has been highlighted as a key target, and so has been Pedro Neto. If you look at those two and you compare them to a Marcus Rashford, it strikes you that Rashford is more of a one-sided winger as compared to Pedro Neto and Nico Williams, who could actually do the job on both sides. So Arsenal are also looking to bolster and strengthen in terms of any attacking position and any attacking option that will be available. This one is where I'm not 100% sure that Arsenal signed a winger. Now, we've wanted a winger for quite some time. Mikel Arteta obviously was mad about Rafinha going in with bids and things like that, but eventually the deal didn't happen. Player wanted to play for Barcelona, and that was eventually confirmed. The deal did happen for them. They were kind of lucky. But in terms of a winger, Arsenal have slowly but surely talked about a winger every single summer. Kudus last summer. Before that summer, it was Rafinha, I think. And then before Rafinha, we were talking about someone else. I think this could be a very similar summer. This could be a summer where Arsenal failed to identify one player they're sure of to sign. Also, it could be a summer where Arsenal failed to identify the real target they actually want. So it's a summer where I see Gabriel Jesus, determining whether we sign a winger or not. And because Gabriel Jesus is not going to be playing as a centre forward, he might actually hinder Arsenal's chances of signing, a winger. So let's wait and see. Winger is part of the plan. Winger is part of, the bigger picture. If it doesn't happen this summer, then most definitely next summer. Now, in terms of the budget, we're looking at Nico Williams, release close around 50 million euros, 50 million pounds. Pedro Neto would be the one that doesn't have a release clause, but would be the cheaper one, in my opinion, because he's had these injuries coming, disturbing him. You might say Pedro Neto could actually cost Arsenal around 40 million euros or 45 million euros. I think with Nico Williams, Bilbao are saying you've got to pay that 60 million euro clause, or you're not actually going to get him. Barcelona are willing to pay higher than the 60 million euros as long as they can get installments on that deal. So still very difficult, right? But in terms of the plan, I don't see a winger as a real priority. I think it's a striker and then the midfield. So let's talk about the midfield. What is happening in terms of the midfield? What kind of profile are we looking at? Now, just before we go away from the wingers, I think the profile of the winger is very close to the profile of a striker Arsenal looking for. Young, electric, high ceiling, very talented, and highly technically gifted. If you tick those boxes, you better send your application to Arsenal, because you might be the guy we are looking for. But what are we looking for in midfield? What exactly are Arsenal looking to do in terms of the midfield? Now, this was reported by Romano and The Athletic a month ago, but it has also been reported this morning again. The Arsenal's plan for the midfield is simple and clear. It depends on Declan Rice's plan and what Mikel Arteta plans to do with him. So his future literally determines who actually comes in at Arsenal. Like, this guy has signed for Arsenal and has become like a sporting director. How do you mean that his future determines who comes in? Is it Kylian Mbappe? No, not actually. Not in that regard. So if he's going to be used as a defensive midfielder, as a number 6, then Arsenal will go and sign a number 8. And of course, if Declan Rice is going to be used as a number 8, we are hearing, then Arsenal will go and sign a number 6. Now, according to the targets that Arsenal puts aside as realistic, we've done a video on the realistic targets Arsenal are looking at. Very, very likely 100% deals that could be happening. Make sure you watch that video, because it gives you a whole insight of what Arsenal are going to do and not going to do. But in terms of the midfield, Arsenal are looking at Zubimendi, top target. Arsenal looking at Joao Neves if the Zubimendi deal doesn't happen. What does that tell you? These are two very, very well-trained and well-educated number 6 defensive midfielders. I don't think Joao Neves would sign for Arsenal as a number 8. Yes, he's got that skill set, he's got the talent, can play across the shop. Not 100% convinced about him playing as a number 8. When we talk about Zubimendi, don't even dare tell me that he's a number 8. He is a typical number 6. And that actually tells you that Arsenal are definitely looking to bring in someone in that midfield area, but mainly as a number 6. What we have seen from Declan Rice this season is that he has predominantly played in that left 8 position, and it has given us a lot of technical flexibility with Mikel Arteta. Now, talking about technical flexibility, Edu and whoever is working on transfers, according to the Athletic still today, they will go out there and sign a player who is very versatile to allow Mikel Arteta tactical flexibility, and that's why the Joao Neves story makes a lot of sense now. That is why the Bruno Guimaraes interest makes a lot of sense now. But also, most importantly, guys, why the Douglas Luiz story makes a lot of sense. When we talk about tactical flexibility, when we talk about midfield versatility, what comes to your mind? Douglas Luiz, he can play in that number 6 role very well, and then he's got the ability to just adapt his game into the number 8 role very well as well. I mean, not the best ball winner in the Premier League or even in Europe, but we could say one of the best midfield controllers and one of the best players you can trust to take care of the ball very, very well. So in terms of your midfielder, you're not looking at Guimaraes. You're not looking at high-profile signings. You're still looking at Zubimendi, 40 to 50 million. You're looking at Joao Neves, who's going to be very expensive, but it's a massive opportunity. I mean, Benfica are saying 120 million euros for him to move. I think that would be a little bit lower down to around 80 or 75 million euros, depending on who is willing to actually do the dealing. So, of course, anyone coming in, that will also depend on Thomas Partey's situation. If he stays, we might see something different. If he goes, we might see something, again, a little bit different in terms of seriousness and also in terms of immediacy to deliver. So, the midfield is sorted. Let's talk about left back, because the Athletic, they have shocked me a little bit, because according to my research, just flipping a few pages to see where I wrote that, actually, Arsenal wanted someone who could play at left back stroke centre back. Now, the Athletic have shocked me today. They have said Mikel Arteta doesn't trust any of the options at left back. He actually wants a specialist there, and Gerard Hato is a player that fits the vision of what Mikel Arteta wants to do in that position. Wait, what? Mikel doesn't trust anyone at left back? I didn't see that coming, guys. But it explains why Arsenal want a new left back. Think about it, guys. Kieran Tierney is there. Jakub Kiwior is there. Alexander Zinchenko is there. Takara Tomiyasu is there. Jurriën Timber is there. Those are 5 options. Wouldn't say the best quality you could get, but I would say 5 quality options. And Mikel doesn't trust any of them. Now, wow. So let's talk about the profile of what Arsenal are looking for, because Mikel has been impressed by none of the options there. So for me, the Timber alternative could actually, create some problems for Mikel. I think with Jurriën Timber, you have a player who has got a real ability to play in that position. Whether Mikel feels like he might be targeted, for playing out of position, maybe depends on what the manager sees in training. And how different is Hato from Jurriën Timber? The difference is here. Hato has predominantly played as a left back, like you have seen Josko Gvardiol for RB Leipzig and Croatia. So for Josko Gvardiol to shift from centre back to left back, or from Nathan Ake to shift from centre back to left back, that wasn't very difficult. It was about, obviously, the difference is that at left back, you're defending wider spaces, and you're also dealing with quicker wingers, trickery, and you've got to be on top of your game, and you've got to concentrate a lot. That is the thing with centre back crossing over to full back. When I think about Hato, he's pacey, he's young, he's a centre back at left back. He's a left-footed centre back who Mikel Arteta wants to change into a Josko Gvardiol. I think that is what he's looking at. He's not looking at Fadi Kadioglu. He's not looking at Ousmane Diamonde. He's looking at such kind of a player that could be turned from a centre-back and comfortably shift into a left-back. And that is why Hato is the priority. Now, is Hato a specialist at left-back? I don't know. But what I know and what I'm gonna tell you is that the plan is to bring in a specialist because Mikel Arteta trusts no one in terms of the left back position. Interesting, intriguing, shocking. Also, the goalkeeping department will be attracting attention from Arteta, Edu, and whoever is going to be doing transfers with us this summer. Now, we are going to see a 100% signing of David Raya on a permanent deal. That is 100% signing. We are also going to see an exodus in the goalkeeping department where players like Arthur Okonkwo and Ramsdale are expected to make way and a new goalkeeper will be arriving. This is what is interesting. When it comes to goalkeepers, Arsenal will sign a deputy for David Raya, 100%. But Arsenal are also looking to bring in a third choice goalkeeper. Now, Carl Hayne might stay, but if he doesn't stay, right? If it doesn't stay, then Arsenal are going out there for 2 new goalkeepers. Preferably a very, very younger one to be third choice, and then a fairly used, okay, I would say a fairly used goalkeeper, kind of to be the deputy. And in that position, the plan is to follow the guidance and the advice of goalkeeping coach Inaki Keina, because among all positions, the goalkeeping department, in terms of who comes in and who goes out, the goalkeeping coach has a big say. And we're hearing that it is Justin Bilo at Feyenoord that the goalkeeping coach Inaki Keina is actually interested in. So that is the Arsenal plan. Without mentioning a lot of names, we've talked about a few names, but without mentioning a lot of names, the priority positions are center forward, wingers, midfielders, left backs, and goalkeepers. The profile, we are still looking at young players that are really, really going to be exciting. They're going to develop as part of the project, but also we might go with some experience in some positions. If you've watched this video and you think it's informative, leave a like. And also, do you agree with our positions, with our targets, and also our profiles?